Good afternoon. It is Friday, August 13th, 2021. And today we're looking at a range day. I think this is the primary, this should be your primary focus right here is these highs and lows. This is the overnight lows. And the overnight highs were like right here. But this was shortly after the open. And we stayed within that. So I moved the price level up here. So that's really what you should be playing today. But secondarily, we have this upward bias. So there is an upward bias. However, very choppy and very range-like. So yeah, let's take a look at these trades. So like right at 447 or something PST, out 422 this one, 441 this one closes, and I came in a little early, like 450. So I saw that, and I want to take that, but then, this closed like that. So that's congestive now. But I felt like being aggressive. I felt like I had this trend channel drawn correctly. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. Not sure if I probably had the midline right there. Yeah, okay. So it's aggressive for a couple of reasons. Obviously, we got that congestion now. But we also didn't make it to the top of this channel. However, if I had seen this, it looks like we got to the top of this channel. So, but then if you're playing this, you might expect prices, now that they've touched here, to go down to the bottom of the channel. But it worked out. It is aggressive. But yeah, it worked out. It's a second entry long. I mean, we could also look at, this looks like a secondary channel. So after the first break of this, we get a second entry long. So anyway, that one worked. We come back to the top of that channel, and let me erase these measured legs and this is a leg down. You get a first entry, failed second entry long. And I think I just wasn't thinking about this in real time, but I do like this entry because now we have this trend line confirmed. And this isn't like a strong upward trend. So I just didn't take this. And when this bar formed, that's when I thought to myself, okay, I like that. I like that entry. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it would have gotten you a scalp. 56.25. Yeah. So that's a scalp right there, and then we come back towards this area, which was like the overnight highs, and we make a new high, and I was looking at it like this was a leg, and then we get a leg up to a new high. And this is a second entry short right here, but we have matching highs, so I didn't take that personally, and maybe you would go short here, too. If you had a good signal bar right here, you would definitely go short. It looks like a trap on a second entry. This bar didn't break higher, but it looks like a first entry, second entry. So that's a trap right there. That's a great move down. And then we come to the bottom of the channel, and that's a first true second entry long. So if you have a good signal bar, my bar's all right, but it looks like a doji. So if you had a better signal bar than that, go long. First entry, failed second entry short. Second entry. This looks like a failure, but it starts to get congestive. Maybe that's why you would want to avoid that. You got a doji there. Yeah, that's pretty congestive. But that does look like a failed second entry short off the trend line. But the true failure, maybe people were looking at that as first entry, second entry. This failure right here works out. It just doesn't look like the right setup for us. Come to the top, the highs, rejection, and after this little cluster of congestion right here, that's when you have this bottom of the trend line confirmed. So first entry, second entry, but we don't get a setup. That forms some congestion, and you get a first failed second entry short right here. This does look like it's congested, but it looks like we have more confirmation of this blue trend channel. What else? I think that's really about it. First entry failed, second entry short. I went short here. Oh wait, no, I was thinking about going short here because it's a failed breakout, and this is clearly a range day by this point. We've pretty much been going sideways since 2 a.m. And it's like 7:30. So I treated this like I viewed this as a failed breakout, and I just couldn't pull the trigger, and I was correct. But here's the thing: you should wait on a lower high. We got a lower high right here, and look at how perfectly that sets up on the range I was playing. It's congested now, but it's a lower high, so I like that. And look how this entry, which would be even more aggressive, and it's not a lower high, so I'm not going to mark it. I probably would have backed out of that trade. I mean, I backed out of this trade too, but I wouldn't have any problem with myself backing out of this trade, this entry, because look at those like 3 dojis in a row. All this is stacking up, but then we get this lower high, and I do like that, and I think you can see that other traders like that as well, because you get the scalp right here on this bar. That's rejection right there. Minor congestion, but it's rejection. Rejection, unlike this, which is congestion. So then prices are just chopping around. No good signal bars or entries here. Then we get a breakout this way. So I entered here, but I got out of break even because I thought I was reading it wrong. Here's another thing. I saw this, which is clearly a level of resistance. But I just thought to myself, oh, the bias is up. But really, the bias has been neutral for 5 hours and 5.5 hours, and I should have thought of it like that. Like overall, yeah, we broke into this upward, but for 5 hours we've been bouncing around. So I think I should have been playing it like a range day, and that would have helped me a lot. And same thing right here. So this congestion formed right here, but I viewed this as its own congestion, really. This just seemed, it just felt different. So we get this price level, and we break out the lows, and you get a great signal bar. And again, I entered on this, but I didn't trust myself, and so I backed out, and that would have gotten me a really good move. And this right here, I'm comfortable with not entering on this entry right here, but it's like a higher low, and yeah, I just wasn't comfortable because this looked like a strong level of resistance, and yeah, you wouldn't have gotten a scalp out until up here. See, this one, all you have to do to scalp out is hit this top level of resistance. Here, you have to go like way up and match the overnight highs. So, and then here, this is just the midline of this overnight highs and lows has been holding prices since 4 a.m. So I like this as an aggressive entry, first entry, second entry. Far away from the EMA, we've been ranging all day. It's just I think it's a good aggressive entry, and yeah, would have done you well and gotten you that scalp. So without further ado, let's check out the trades I took today. So when I came in, the bias is up. We're making this leg up. And depending on how you look at it, this is how I was looking at it, was this is off the second entry off the trend line. It looks like we had a short-term channel right here. So we get a break of that channel, upward bias, second entry long off the EMA. It's a little congestive here, but it ends up working out. We're gonna have to see what Max says about this. I'm not too crazy that I entered after this bar formed and it's clearly congested and we don't know where prices are going, especially because it looks like it's at the midline. Let's see, where would this have been? That was the overnight highs at that point. So that's the midline. It's aggressive. It's aggressive. And I would prefer myself to be a little less aggressive. Maybe I do like being aggressive before the open. It's slow. I have time to think about it. I think I want to be less aggressive around the open, really. So I think I'm okay with that trade. And then these trades, I'm okay with these trades. I think I was thinking correctly. I just doubted myself. And I think really the key here is for me to have looked at how long prices have been going sideways for. And that's pretty much since, let's see, since 420. So, 4 hours later, yeah, it looks like I am reading it right. We made a lower high here, a lower high here. So let's look at that too. Look at that. Let's see if that, oh, you know what? I feel like I had this trend line drawn too. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think I shouldn't have backed out. Maybe if I saw this, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have backed out. So here, yeah, I was just like, I'm not sure. Because we got this, we're making higher lows, but now we're making lower highs. And so this is just, it's not a lower high. This here, we get a lower high. And again, I was looking at that as congestion. It ends up working. And again, this one's less aggressive. This one right here is less aggressive than this because it's with the bias. But I still got nervous or whatever, and I couldn't stick with it. I had to get out of break even. And yeah, I think this is just part of the learning process. So I'm not too disappointed. I do wish I let those run. But we ended the day with one good trade, so I'm not going to complain. That's it. Here, let me take this off so you can get a view with just the range. This probably isn't anything. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'll be back next week.